We thought the flight would be uncomfortable, but we never expected humiliation at 30,000 feet. My wife was 7 months pregnant, exhausted, and in pain, yet we still paid extra for legroom seats to keep her safe. That's when a stranger decided her comfort mattered more than my wife's health. She pointed at my wife's belly, judged her silently, then demanded we swap seats, not politely, but like it was her right. When we refused, she escalated, accused us of being selfish, and even dragged the captain into it. The cabin went quiet. My wife's hands were shaking. But what happened next? No one, especially that entitled woman, saw it coming. One calm decision from the captain flipped the entire situation, turning shame into justice and entitlement into embarrassment. This isn't just a flight story. It's a reminder that respect still exists and karma sometimes flies first class. Airports always made me anxious, but that day, the feeling was heavier than usual. Maybe it was the exhaustion on my pregnant wife's face, or maybe it was the way people stared without really seeing. My wife, Emily, was 7 months pregnant, her feet swollen, her back aching, and her patience already stretched thin from a long drive to the airport. We were flying cross-country to attend my sister's wedding. Emily had insisted on coming, even though I told her we could stay back. Family matters, she'd said, smiling through discomfort. That smile was one of the many reasons I loved her. We had paid extra for aisle seats near the front, nothing fancy, just enough legroom so Emily could stretch her legs and stand if she needed to. The doctor had advised her to move often during long flights, and we followed every instruction carefully. As we boarded the plane, the cabin buzzed with the usual chaos, overhead bins slamming shut, flight attendants repeating instructions, children whining, and the hum of engines preparing for departure. I helped Emily settle into her seat, adjusting her cushion and placing her small pillow behind her back. "Are you okay?" I asked softly. She nodded. "I'll be fine. Just glad we're seated." That's when she appeared. A woman in her late 40s, perfectly styled hair, designer handbag, and an expression that suggested the world existed solely for her convenience. She stopped abruptly beside us, scanning our seats and then glancing at her boarding pass like she was offended by its existence. She sighed loudly. Then she looked straight at Emily's belly. And frowned. "Excuse me," the woman said sharply, tapping my arm without waiting for acknowledgement. "You're in my way." I stepped slightly aside. "Sorry." She didn't move forward. Instead, she leaned in and pointed at Emily's seat. "I need you to switch seats with me." I blinked. "I'm sorry." She rolled her eyes. "My seat is in the middle, back there." She gestured vaguely toward economy. "And I need more space." Also, she lowered her voice dramatically. "She's pregnant. Pregnant women should sit somewhere quieter." Emily stiffened beside me. I felt my jaw tighten. "We specifically booked these seats because my wife is pregnant." Karen scoffed. "That's not my problem. I paid for my ticket too." "Yes," I said calmly, "but so did we." She crossed her arms. "Look, I get anxious in tight spaces. I need legroom. You look healthy enough to sit back there." Emily spoke up quietly. "I'm actually advised not to sit cramped for long periods." Karen laughed. "Doctors say a lot of things." At that point, a nearby passenger turned to look, sensing tension. "I'm not switching seats," I said firmly. Karen's face reddened. "Unbelievable. Some people are so selfish." She slammed her call button and waited, arms crossed, like a queen summoning her servant. A flight attendant approached with a practiced smile. "Is there a problem here?" "Yes," Karen snapped. "These people are refusing to swap seats with me." The attendant glanced at us. "Sir." "My wife is pregnant," I explained calmly. "We paid extra for these seats. We're not comfortable switching." Karen cut in. "She's pregnant. She needs peace, not a noisy front cabin. You should move her back." Emily's eyes widened. "Noisy? What does that even mean?" The attendant frowned. Seat swapping is voluntary." Karen's voice rose. "This is discrimination. I have anxiety." The attendant nodded politely. "I understand, but they are not required to move." Karen scoffed. "Then call the captain." A murmur spread through nearby rows. Someone muttered, "Seriously?" The attendant hesitated, then nodded. "I'll inform the captain." Karen smirked at us like she'd already won. Emily squeezed my hand. "I hate conflict," she whispered. I know, I said softly. But you're not wrong. Minutes later, the captain himself stepped into the cabin. The captain was tall, calm, and radiated authority. He listened quietly as the flight attendant explained the situation. Karen launched into her version, embellishing every detail. They are refusing to help a distressed passenger, and having a pregnant woman here is disruptive. The captain turned to us. Sir. I explained everything, Emily's pregnancy, the doctor's advice, the extra fee we paid. The captain nodded, then looked at Emily kindly. How far along are you? 7 months, she replied softly. He turned back to Karen. These passengers are under no obligation to move. Karen scoffed. So you're taking their side? I'm enforcing policy, the captain said evenly. Then he paused. And actually, he continued, we have a bulkhead row available. Karen's eyes lit up. For them, he finished. He smiled at Emily. Extra legroom. No charge. The surrounding passengers broke into quiet applause. Karen's face drained of color. You can't, she stammered. The captain nodded. You may return to your assigned seat, or we can rebook you on a later flight. She said nothing. Emily's eyes filled with tears. We moved to the bulkhead seats, with more space than we could have imagined. Emily stretched her legs, visibly relieved. Thank you, she whispered to the captain. He smiled warmly. Congratulations in advance. As the plane took off, I noticed Karen walking back to her cramped middle seat, dragging her designer bag like it weighed 100 pounds. Emily leaned her head on my shoulder. I didn't want special treatment. I kissed her forehead. You deserved respect. The rest of the flight was peaceful. A flight attendant brought Emily water and checked on her often. A nearby passenger congratulated us on the baby. And Karen? She never looked our way again. Sometimes, kindness wins quietly. And sometimes, entitlement gets stuck in the middle seat, right where it belongs.